Imagine standing in a line for over an hour. The heat is unbearable. The noise is constant. People are bumping into you from every direction. And your body is starting to shut down. But no one can see why. Now imagine having a toolkit that turns that overwhelming day into something magical again. Today I'm going to walk you through the ultimate theme park survival kit for hidden disabilities. I myself suffering from chronic pain, but I have a lot of friends that are on the autism spectrum, so I talk to them and make this video for you guys possible. I promise you, some of those items are things you've never even thought of bringing to a theme park. But once you do, you will never go without them again. So, hi everyone and welcome back. If you are planning a trip to Universal Orlando or Disney World and you or someone you are traveling with has a hidden disability, this video is for you. First of all, the easiest way I always mention, if you really have a disability and you need help, apply for their assistance systems. At Universal, it's the AAP. At Disney, is the DAS. I made separate videos about those. Those are your main tool if you are suffering from a hidden disability. But theme parks are incredible. They can be really physically and mentally demanding environments. Long waits, intense stimulation, unpredictable weather, especially in Florida, it can be a lot. So instead of just powering through, we are going to prepare smarter. This isn't your typical packing list you will see with most of those Disney influencers. Yes, we will cover a few of those essentials, but we are also diving into outside-the-box items that can make a massive difference in your comfort, energy, and overall experience. So let's build your survival kit. Let's start with the basics, the foundation of your kit. For an example, I take my Loungefly. It's perfect size. A lot of stuff is fitting inside the water bottle, my van, stuff like that. And it fits at the lockers, at the free lockers at Universal. So I always take my Loungefly as a base. First up are your medications. This seems obvious, but the key here is accessibility. Don't bury them in a backpack. Keep them in a small, easy to approach pouch. So I always have them on a separate pouch in my Loungefly so I can access them. It's only painkillers, but when I need the painkillers, I need them. Next, I mentioned briefly before, is the hydration pack. Florida heat is no joke. You can ask for free water everywhere. Bring a reusable water bottle. But here is the upgrade. Go to Walmart and add electrolytes packages. Not just water, your body needs salt and minerals, especially if fatigue or dizziness is an issue. I always go on my first day in the States to Walmart and buy stuff like that, so I stay hydrated and don't feel dizzy during the day. Now, let's talk about cooling tools. I'm handling the heat really well, but it's better to be prepared than just suffering. I bought a cute little Kirby handheld fan, and it's great. I take it with me every time. He makes me laugh because he's sucking in the air. It's so cute and funny. So, yeah, this is perfect. A cooling towel, I never tend to use them. If this is for you, I just don't like them, let's be honest. But you can try them out as well. I heard from a lot of people that those are a lifesaver for them. But for me, I just need my cooling fan when it's getting really hot. And of course, never underestimate the sun. Use sun protection, hat, sunglasses, and sunscreen. Sensory overload, for an example, my friend told me, gets worse when your body is already stressed. So minimizing heat and light exposure is a huge thing for her. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into the sensory support section. Let's talk about something people often underestimate when it comes to sensory overload. Theme parks are loud, bright, busy, and constant. I made a video about the quiet places at Universal. You can look them up, note them on your map, so you know where to go if you are getting overstimulated. Start with an easy one. Use noise reduction. Earplugs are great. Even I, that I'm not suffering from stuff like that, I used to love just to listen to some music with my AirPods when I am waiting in the short AAP line, because it's reducing all of the loud environment, and it can soften everything around you for you. Next, again, my friend told me she's using it every time, is visual relief. Sunglasses aren't just for the sun. They can help reduce visual stimulation overall. Tinted lenses can be especially helpful for that case. Here's one people don't think about often enough: a sensory comfort item. That could be a fidget toy, a small piece of fabric, or something grounding. It might seem simple, but in overwhelming moments, it can be your anchor. Also consider a lightweight scarf or a hoodie, not for the warmth, but as a portable shield. It can help create a small sense of personal space in crowded areas. Next up is energy and fatigue management. And this is really, really important. Let's talk about pacing is everything. Bring your portable snacks. There were actually standing protein bars, nuts, something with substance. Blood sugar crashes can sneak up on you fast. So I always take, for an example, easy M&Ms or stuff like that, so I can snack on something and don't have to pay the high theme park prices. But I must say, at Universal, the prices are fine. Most of the time, I go for the watermelon slices. They are cool, they are watery, and they are helping you a lot when you need something to eat. And here is a must-have: a portable phone charger. Not just for your convenience, because especially when you are using the AAP, your phone battery is drained really, really fast. And your phone is your map, your ticket, and sometimes, if you are not able to speak the language, your communication tool. Losing battery can add unnecessary stress or can lead to you are not able to use your next return time. Now, here is again an underrated item. Take a small foldable seat cushion with you. You might be thinking, really? Are you that crazy? And yes, sitting on hard surfaces or waiting areas can be physically exhausting. I can talk to you from experience. A small cushion can reduce strain and give you a proper rest moment anywhere. And for an example, I can use it to stand on it. It's easier for me to stand on a soft ground when I need to stand for a longer period of time than on a hard ground, so if it makes sense to you. And if mobility, like for me, or fatigue is a bigger concern, don't hesitate to look into renting a mobility aid. That's not giving up, that's making your day possible. I am not going to do so. I talked about it in my last video. I just don't want to use a wheelchair as long as I can. because I know at some point my foot will completely give up, and I know that I will spend a lot of time in my future in the wheelchair, so I don't want to use a wheelchair if I don't have to at the moment. Now let's talk about a few more outside the box items. This is where things get interesting. These are items most people don't think about, but can make a huge difference. I've always take a few Ziploc bags with you. Not exciting, but incredible useful. Why, you ask? If you are going on a water ride, for an example, it will protect your phone. Wet clothes, you can put them in. Sudden rain, it can protect your stuff. You will be glad you have them. They are not taking up that much space in your backpack, and I think it's really, really helpful to use them. Next up is a mini first aid kit. I, for an example, am allergic to bandage. So I am using my own bandage stuff that is working for me without getting blisters and looking like a dragon was roasting my skin. So this is really important for me to take special blister patches with me, and I would always recommend it because walking all day can destroy your feet, and once that happens, everything else becomes harder, I promise you. I climbed Mount Fuji with so many blisters on my feet, and it was the worst suffering I ever witnessed. Let's say it in a polite way. And here was a surprising one as well, my friend recommended just to talk about because it's helping here really, really much. Take a scent, whirler, or essential oil with you. Why? Smell is powerful. A calming scent like lavender or peppermint can help regulate anxiety, or if you tend to motion sickness, it can help you with nausea quickly and discreetly. So I will try it out with the peppermint in case I get motion sickness. Maybe it's helping for me as well. And another unexpected item I've always take with me is a change of socks. It sounds small, but if your feet get wet or sweaty, changing into fresh socks can completely reset your comfort level. And here is one almost no one talks about. A printed card explaining your condition or needs. I am not using this, but it can maybe help when communication is getting harder. Having something you can hand to a staff member can make things easier if this kind of condition is appearing to you. I'm, for an example, bringing also my foldable crutches with me. They are so small that they even fit into my Longefly. Most of the time I don't need them, but they are there, and this is just calming my mind down that I know I can use them when it's getting really rough, especially in the end of the day. Now, beyond what you bring, how you use the items matters. Take advantage of disability access service offered at both parks. Like I said, DAS or AAP. Make sure you know where the first aid stations are and don't feel silly to go there for small things. They are there to help you out. They are free. And even if you only need maybe an ibuprofen, Tylenol, or a bandage, go there. They are more than willing and happy to help you out, even with small things. They exist for a reason, and they can significantly reduce your stress level. Then important, please plan breaks into your plan a day. Don't wait until you're exhausted. And don't just rush through everything and think you need to do everything. Just listen to your body. Identify quiet spots in the park ahead of time. I made a video for Universal so you know where to go. Every park has them. You just need to know where to look for. And as I said, the most important thing is listen to your body. You don't have to do everything to have a successful day. At the end of the day, this isn't about surviving the parks. It's about actually enjoying them. And it's maybe looking different from all the videos you see on YouTube, because we have maybe special needs because of our disability. And listen to your body and do what you are enjoying. A little preparation can turn overwhelming into manageable, and manageable into magical moments. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments, especially if you have your own must-have items. I'd love to hear what works for you. And if you are planning a trip soon, save this video so you can look stuff up again. The future will thank you. See you in my next video tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.